Hey, this is Hans-Peder from Hans-Peder Lifestyle, and today we're going to talk about 4 practical tips to how to actually overcome fear. And so, yeah, the topic of fear, and it's something we all experience, I suppose. Uncertainty, being afraid of doing what we really know we should, and doing what we really know would fulfill and grow us. And it's something that's holding a lot of us, back from greatness and from achieving what we want. So I want to share with you some, straight to the point, actual practical tips to how to overcome it. So yeah, the first one is let the feeling be and be aware. And I think a lot of people don't really understand their feelings to some sort. Like because most of our feelings, like anger or sorrow or sadness, in some cases, of course, there's a reason for these emotions that you actually have to solve them. But other times, like your fear, where it's because of something fleeting that's in the moment right now, and not something creating the feeling internally. Like if you're really depressed or something like that, that's an internal thing creating the feeling. But when something outside of you, actually allow the feeling, or you should in general do this all the time with all negative emotions. But try to allow the feeling and try to relax. So, for example, when I'm in fear, when I was, younger, I was really afraid for like big social situations and stuff like that. And what you could do in that situation, if you take that as an example, my stomach would curl up like really cramped nearly because oh god, this is so scary, and like my knees and like my legs would feel like butter, and not like butter anyway. It kind of was weird actually, it would like stiffen up and can't move, but at the same time they would like my muscles were like weak or something like that. So in that situation, I would focus on the feeling. The physical feeling of fear for me would then be in the stomach and in the legs. So first, I would accept it. Just realize, okay, I'm afraid and I'm in fear right now. And then say, okay, that's totally fine. That is how it is right now, and I accept it. So first, relax in your stomach. Maybe other parts of your body, you have to decide for yourself. But for me, it would relax in the stomach and relax in my knees and take a deep breath and just accept the fact that right now I'm experiencing this feeling. Because feelings get a lot more extreme and strong when you resist them and really try to fight against them. Then you will begin to get anxious too. So just acknowledge, like, all right, right now I'm feeling a little scared, and that's all right. That's totally all right. Because just by doing that, you'll actually reduce, the intensity of the feeling by accepting it. Because that's the only way the feeling can get through you. That's it. If you actually accept it. If you just hold it in your body and you're totally stiff, the feeling can't really escape or go anywhere. So relax and just let it go over you. Don't try to resist being afraid. That won't really help with anything at all. Good. So yeah, number 2, realize this is not a life-threatening situation. So something that you have to understand about our psyche, especially in this modern age, is that we feel afraid and uncertain, but these feelings doesn't really match what they were intended to do. The reason you feel the reason for fear is to make sure you survive. So, like for example, if there was a saber-toothed tiger or something like that coming at you, of course you should be afraid and run away. But our mind kind of perceive these things like public speaking, or maybe I don't know, talking to a girl you like, or talking to your boss or something like that, like a life-threatening situation. Like, oh God. So you consciously, all right, this is not dangerous. Subconsciously, like in your body, you feel like, okay, this is life-threatening situation. You begin to feel the sweat in your hands. You begin to shiver and be afraid, and oh no. And so you perceive the situation as if it's a life-threatening situation, hence why you are afraid. So just acknowledge, and maybe something that's a little hard to change, but acknowledge like, okay, I'm gonna have to talk to my boss today about a raise or something like that, or I have to do public speaking. Acknowledge to yourself, okay, I'm not gonna die. I'm not gonna die. Whatever happens, the worst thing that could happen will not kill me. So again, just acknowledge this. Really, get it through your brain. Like this fear is not real. This fear, it is real, but like the reason for it is really not. There's no real reason you should be afraid right now. And just, again, don't better yourself and hate yourself for being afraid. But just think to yourself, there's really no reason there's no need to be afraid right now. Okay, I may be really afraid in swimming, but that's okay. But there's no reason for it. And for me, at least personally, that really relaxes me, like knowing that, all right, I'm not gonna die. No matter what happens, it'll be okay. And it will be okay. You're not gonna die. So yeah. And of course, if you are in a life-threatening situation, then it's totally okay to be afraid. So yeah, no judgment there. So really acknowledge, like, okay, I'm not gonna die. This is just a response from my brain because it thinks that it's, really dangerous, but it really isn't. So there's no need to be afraid, even if you are, and it's totally okay if you are afraid. But acknowledge that there's no need for it. And again, accept it and just acknowledge, okay, this fear is here and it's not really necessary. And that at least helps me, ease it. But don't like reject it and hate it for being there. That's just make it worse. And then number 3, don't press yourself. And again, like I talked about, just because, the fear is not necessary doesn't mean it will go away. And at least for me with social situations, what I've experienced is, it's not really the best to press yourself. And for some it is, I suppose. And that's totally okay if that's your way of doing it. That's fair. But if you just jump right into a situation, for my sake, when I was younger, let's say I have to go to a party all alone and socialize. That would be really freaking scary for me at that time of my age and the way I've, thought about things then. So let's take that situation. Don't press yourself. If I got in that situation, I would like panic and be really scared, and I would really tense up and probably get a cramp or something. And I really don't think that would help you overcome your fear. In some situations, sure, it's good to press yourself and really get into it. But what I found, at least again from my situation, is don't always press yourself, at least. So in social situations, just try to talk to another person that day. Always press yourself a little, baby step it. Don't never just throw yourself out there and get a panic attack, When you have something you're afraid of, and that can be many things, try to press it a little bit. Be uncomfortable. Not afraid, but uncomfortable. So maybe talk to another person and then just decide for yourself, all right, I'm going to at least talk to 2 people at this party. And don't press yourself and just take it nice and easy. And you'll watch, like, the fear and the intensity of the fear will kind of subside and get smaller and smaller the more you like push your abilities and capabilities up. And you'll like over time get better. And of course you have to be patient here and patient with yourself, because something that takes time because you baby step it. But that's a really of course won't say guaranteed because it depends on you. But it's a way I find is pretty sure of getting the job done, I suppose. So yeah. And the last one is visualization. And the reason we're afraid of things is because, we are uncertain of them and we don't know how it's going to end and all these things, and we are unexperienced. Because most of wouldn't be, afraid of something we're really confident at and that we know everything about. I wouldn't be, afraid of playing a video game because I'm pretty, at least if not a horror game, then I'm a little baby. But, if play a shooter game or something like that, I would be really confident in that because I'm really a lot of experience and I know how to do it. So yeah, it's mostly an uncertainty, and when we're not secure in ourselves, that fear pops up. And the way to kind of like I won't say hack it, but like, get around this problem is to visualize. So let's take public speaking, for example. If you really shiver in your legs and you begin to, I don't know, throw up or something, and just think about public speaking, try to visualize it. Because your mind in general can't really tell the difference between reality and your imagination. So if you want to get some experience, and as we talked about before, baby step, try to actually sit down and visualize yourself doing public speaking. So imagine yourself in like this whole crowd around you, and you sitting there, feel the board or the wooden floor around you, feel your breath and how hot it is in the room and the lights coming on you, and you holding the paper or whatever, and what you're going to talk about, and imagine the faces down there. Really get vivid. The more vivid it is, the more your brain's going to believe it. Then visualize yourself actually doing public speaking, and in that way you will actually get experience. And over time, if you get more confident in that, your brain will be like, oh, all right, I'm kind of know this, I'm experiencing this. It's not that scary because I've tried it before, because you've visualized it. And that actually helps with the fear and with the uncertainty to visualize it, because it gets more familiar to you. Because as I said before, your mind can't really tell the difference between imagination and reality. So you will get more experience by visualizing. And again, I really recommend reading a little more into it with visualization, so one can get a better guide to it. But in general, you just have to visualize the situation in vivid detail, and going through it and feel the feelings and just imagine it. So that's some practical ways you can reduce fear, especially the two last one of baby stepping it and visualization, that actually help reduce the fear and uncertainty and makes you get longer in life. So yeah, that was a little longer video than normal, but some pretty important points, and I suppose I like to ramble a bit. So yeah, hope these tips helps, and let me know if they do or if they don't, and if you have other recommendations or things like that. So yeah, this was Hans-Peder from Hans-Peder Lifestyle. See you guys later, and stay brave and stay courageous. Bye.